Good evening, good evening, good evening. I want to welcome you to tonight's edition of Yes You with Friends, and I'm so glad that you joined me on this fine day. Yes, it's a beautiful Sunday evening. We've been through the storm and the rain. They swimming down there in Fort Smith.
Yeah, for real, for real.
They are swimming in Fort Smith. But I tell you what, we are here. We are yet here in the land of the living, and it's just good to be here. I want to appreciate each of you that are in the chat. I see you, Stacy546 Rebel. I see you, SK8843, and everybody else that's here but not in the chat yet. Welcome to Yes You with Friends. With that, I'd like to welcome my lovely friends that are here with me. Mino 3782, I see you. Thank you for that resub. I appreciate you so much. Mino, we're still sending prayers to you, and she was touched and impacted by the storms here in Kansas City. So we still got prayers, love, and anything that we can do to assist you, Mino. We're here for you. With that being said, Rhonda's still here. She been swimming. Let's see, Tyrone, I think they burning up down in the Dallas town.
Ooh, boy.
I guess you just are surviving the windstorms and the rains over there in Blue Springs. How are you all doing?
Good.
Good. It's hot today. Both inside and out, but good.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It was scorcher here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord. Let's start with Jonna. What's going on in your world, sis?
Well, it's been a couple weeks. Oh, I missed y'all last week, didn't I?
Yes, we missed
See
you.
y'all again. It's been good. We've been enjoying summer break, where we actually got back to some stuff this week. Jada's getting ready for basketball, so they're already doing speed and strength and basketball camp the whole summer long.
Okay.
So we started that back up this week, and just being out and together. All of us ladies having a good old time together.
I had to look up on that one.
together. All day, every day.
I'm trying to read between the lines on that one, Jonna. I have a feeling that's a cloaked message.
It is. Send help. They say if you need help, blink. I'm blinking. Somebody come get me, please. Because this teen and preteen hormonal hell ain't it.
I was just getting ready to tell you blink 3 times.
It ain't it. And it's hot too.
And the summer's just starting.
Woo, woo, Lord Jesus. I can only imagine. Oh my God. We praying for you, Jonna. We praying for you.
Pray, because I'm trying not to go back into traditional parenting. You know, I try to do it gently. But baby, them old school ways be calling my name.
We've given up the belt. We've given up physical.
Yeah.
We've given up corporal punishment. We are dealing with this a different way in this generation.
We trying to. We trying. Easier said than done.
I believe in it, Saints. I believe in it. I do. Of course, I ain't got no kids.
And definitely no hormonal teenagers.
Come
Okay.
on. In summertime,
Mhm.
in the hell degrees heat.
Absolutely.
Ooh, girl, I'm praying for you. Ooh, and you know what? Shoot. You know, I'm just thinking all these these hormonal teenagers, females, and all of that going on. Y'all need like showers 2 or 3 times a day.
You know what? I might try that. Everybody take a nice, cool
Everybody.
afternoon shower.
Everybody, just
And
take
just relax.
Yeah,
Just
then you're gonna be
lay
mad
down.
when you get your water bill.
I was say that's the next thing.
I'll take that water bill over this BS. I'll take the bill. I'll take that water bill. Eat you some fruit and be quiet. We're going to learn how to meditate back in here.
Meditate.
Right.
You meditate. Everybody get in that position. Daniel said, good evening, Daniel Dean. Spoil the rod, spoil the child. Listen, we're trying another tactic. We're trying to move away from slavery. Look at that Rhonda's face. Now, I know you like you ain't feeling, but I really do. Tyrone neither. I really do, Johnny. You got my 100% support. I really, really feel like Black people spanking their kids is a good leftover from slavery. I know y'all mad at me, but I really do. I feel like it's a good leftover from slavery, and we just don't want to let it go. But anyway, that's my opinion. That is only my opinion.
Send them over to her house. That's all I can say. Send them over to her house.
Now, Jonna, now tell the truth and shame the devil. Do not the kids. Thank you for liking that stream, Rashida Renee. And if you would, please share the stream. Please follow. I appreciate you for that. Now, one of your goals is to stay at home with no kids. I see you, Stacey. Now, Jonna, do not your children respond very well to me with no physical contact?
They absolutely do. They absolutely do.
And I don't doubt that, because all kids, for whatever reason, like to come to my house and stay too. They do. It's something about it. They do.
They do.
But if they get out of line that requires the slavery they will receive. I don't want to do slavery. I don't.
Jonna, have I not reprimanded your children, all of them, ultimately at one time or another? Have I not reprimanded every single one of your kids?
And they straighten right up, and no tears, no nothing. So,
but I'm very firm with them, though, aren't I?
Firm. Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. You have a quality that I simply don't have yet. I'm working on it.
It's always like that when the child's dealing with somebody outside of their
It's
parent.
always, yeah.
No, not necessarily.
A lot of kids just will
For the
not.
most part, a lot,
some
yeah.
people then they will try with their parents.
Okay.
For the most part,
I don't know.
Not all kids.
What do you think, Jonna?
They have a similar response to Dwayne. It's just me that, I think I'm more hands-on with all of them, and I do let them slide a little more than Regina or Dwayne would. So they try me. That's just what that is. Mm-hmm. They try me, but they getting ready to get 1995 mommy that they don't know nothing about, because she's about to come in here and air this mug out again.
But Mama's the one we always gonna try, because she's the one we probably engage with the most.
That's correct.
I think kids from me know that I'm not going to, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to tell you 2 and 3 times. Mm-hmm. And I think they get that feeling very clearly from me that, don't try Jesus, don't try me. Because at the end of the day, it's like, we're not going to say this. I'm not going to repeat and repeat. I'm going to tell you one time. I'm that one, I get down on their level. So we're talking face to face. They're not looking up at me like this person I need to look up and be fearful of and all of that. I get down on their level, right there with them face to face. Now your oldest 2 girls are taller than me, so I'm gonna have to look up. But at the end of the day, I think I'm my attitude, good evening, Shelly Welly. My attitude is very clear. We ain't playing no games. And we just not playing no games. I know that my kids will try me 1,000 times before they try anyone else. I hear you, Shelly Welly. I hear you. So, but anyway, we just sending all kinds of love. But yeah, try the showers, girl. Try the showers. Honey, MDS.
I'm trying it out.
The showers and Benadryl.
Okay. A little nighttime gummy.
In the afternoon.
Those things work.
Take
Trust
it
me.
down.
Oh, thank you. Jonna, we love you. You know we love you, girl. Tyrone. We calling Tyrone. What's going on with you, baby? Besides a Benadryl.
Right. It feels like it's been forever. I know I've been really, really busy. But let me say, I take my hat off to any person that lives with children. I had to take 5 kids to the doctor the other day.
Ooh.
And my career flashed in front of my eyes.
Mm.
That stop, sit down. They almost got the
Yeah.
slavery. And then I had to say, your whole career would be gone.
Right.
It
That
got
doctor's office is
it got so
tough.
bad the nurse had to come and sit with me because it was like, sit down. Stop.
Now you need care.
No,
With you.
Yeah, that doctor's office is tough.
Right.
I came home. Once I dropped them off, I came home and went to bed. So anybody who are taking care of kids, whether they're your own or not, I take my hat off to you
Oh my
because they almost all got whipped.
God.
Slavery, get them.
I would have just had to turn in my phone, turn in my badge, and we do what we do. So,
I'm done. He said the nurse.
You need a gummy too. Did you take a gummy?
yes, I have a bottle next on the nightstand.
Oh, Jesus.
My whole career was about to be gone in an hour. I just didn't. And when it's somebody else's kids, because
That doctor's office ain't no punk. You got to be
Yeah.
ready for that.
I mean they had no activities for the kids, and they all got like behavior issues, and it's just me, and I'm trying to think of names on the top of my head. And at one point, I was just like, forget it, y'all just tether them up. By the time we left, they had used up all the gloves. We had blown them up into balloons. It was a disaster. But I love the kids though. These are amazing kids. They just bad as all bad. So my head.
They didn't have any cookies, no suckers, no.
They didn't even have water.
Oh Lord.
Well, the kids were like, "Can we have water?" And the nurse was like, "Well, you can get out the bathroom sink." And I'm like, "But it's just me. I can't take 5 kids to the bed. They in CPS. I can't let them go by themselves."
The bathroom sink.
That's disgusting.
It was horrible. But afterwards, I took them to McDonald's. They were asleep by the time I got them back to school, and then I came home and went to sleep. And then it wore me down. I said, "Oh no, God." But other than that, life has just been really busy. We've been on the go. This was the one weekend that we just, relaxed, hung out at the house because next weekend we'll be in Kansas, and the weekend after that, the week after that, we'll be in Mexico for a wedding. So it's just been really busy with life and work, and we enjoy everything we do. So
yes.
What's been going on?
Oh, that was so.
Benadryl.
Yes, I see. I wasn't gonna tell. I just said it. I wasn't gonna give any details.
So do I normally just have a fat face?
We don't see fat face.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I guess I can see it.
You look beautiful
Thank you.
as always. You do. Mino said that was a field day for the kids.
Right.
It was.
And next time you got to take some snacks and some little candies.
Yeah.
I learned. A bottle of water, the whole package, because I was not prepared, and they did me in.
Yeah.
Like car seats, and then they wanted to run off and get in the car and watch out for the traffic, and it was just too much.
I can believe they sent you with 5 children by yourself.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, they're on my caseload, and Grandma didn't want to take them, so
Of course not.
She had you.
yeah, and I fell for it. She said, I'm not taking them. If you need them to go to the doctor, you take them. I was like, okay, well, I'll take them. Never again.
They'll never have another doctor's appointment again.
Not if I got anything to do with it. My car was trashed. They wanted to play things on the radio I had never heard before. It was,
How old were they?
one's 9, 8, 2 5-year-olds, and a 3-year-old.
Oh no. No.
Your hands were full. Your hands were full.
I said never again. But my whole career flashed before my eyes. Like for a moment, I felt myself about to snatch one of them up, and I said, Tyrone, your job.
Uh-huh.
So you still got bills. And I said, I'm a backup.
Well, Shelly's Googling plane tickets since you're now babysitting.
But those are different. Those would be relatives.
That would be different.
So that
It would be in the house, and I will put them in a room with a TV and some toys or something.
And Blaze, they got Blaze to play.
They got
with.
Blaze will keep them busy.
He'll keep them entertained. SK says slavery returns, y'all. So if you lay hands on somebody, beat the meat, beat the meat.
Hey, Mel.
Good evening, Mel. So good to have you. Thank you for joining us tonight, and friends. I appreciate you, sis. Well, I tell you, kids are dominating. What's going on in your world of Royal Confessions?
Girl, look, nothing compared to Jonna and Tyrone. Whoa, nothing. No, you already told me about the swimming. We have had storms. It was like the first 3 days of the week, first 4 days of the week. I mean, the storms and rain, people having to be rescued by boats out of their houses. It was horrible.
Oh, wow.
That is bad.
So much rain at one time, the draining system just could not handle it.
Wow.
And everything was flooding. So it was pretty bad. I sent Regina some pictures so she could just see exactly how bad it was.
Yeah, it's bad.
But now we're just like y'all. That rain is gone. It's hot as hell.
Yeah.
Heat index is 111.
Ooh, 100. Oh, girl.
Yeah.
You need 2 showers a day.
Right. Well, I don't have to because I ain't going nowhere.
I know that's right.
Well, but this week is going to be really busy with Juneteenth. Really busy. And it's supposed to be hot.
Oh, okay.
And so I've got so much to do. That y'all know I've been working on that Black Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Oh my God, I've had Zoom calls out the wazoo. That has just been draining me with all of that. But the one thing that I could kick myself for is Juneteenth as a holiday for the county employees.
Mm-hmm.
You know, President Biden signed it. It was sometime in June of last year that could be a holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't hit me. And I was like, how did I drop the ball? I don't know how I dropped that ball. But then when I think back, it was mid-June, late June when he signed it. And then you all know my husband passed. So I think my head just wasn't in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it still shouldn't have been left up to me. Why come the other people in the court didn't pick that up and run with it?
Mm-hmm.
So this week I've been trying so hard to get past all the legalities to try to get the holiday for the Monday after, let the county be off. But with the legalities and stuff, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
But I have had conversations with the judges and all of that. And so it will be on the agenda for our June 21st meeting. And then we will vote it. And from there on out, it will be a holiday for county employees.
Good.
I beat myself up like, how did I not do that so it could be effective this year? How did I miss it? And I thought, well, you did have a lot going on.
Your plate was full, dear.
Yeah, but then what about the other people?
They'll be all right.
I'm saying why they didn't pick it up and go with it.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying, you get it next time around. You got it. But you always have that person, and you always are that person that's always thinking about, the bigger picture and thinking ahead. But everybody just doesn't come from that space and that place,
Mm-hmm.
So
it will be a holiday this forward next year.
I got you. I know you're gonna take care of business.
Oh yeah.
Auntie Diddy is in the room. Good evening to you, sis. Thank you for coming in with friends on today. We're so glad to have you. Come on, SK is saying good work, royalty. Good work. Because listen, you always on. You can't catch it. You can't get everything. You get 99%.
I know. You know, it bothers me too when I miss something.
Well, let that 1% go. Just that 1%. It's okay. It's okay, royalty. It's okay. That 1%. It's okay. Oh my goodness. But you're doing a great work and you can't come down. That's for sure. That is for sure. Auntie Diddy, she is the counterpart of Uncle Diddy. I appreciate her for coming in and sharing with us on tonight. She is a moderator. My queen, we are so glad to have you. Thank you for coming in the chat tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mel said, yes, there are, and I will be wearing the, oh, okay. She's talking about, she bought some pants. Anybody that needs some clothing wear, that active wear that the Rebel Ink has at it, it's some good active wear. So y'all go out there and get you some. It's good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. She said, good for wearing them at the racist at the racist event. Speaking of the racist events, we'll deal with that just a little bit on this evening. And I don't know if you all heard, about 7 hours or so ago, dozens of white supremacists were arrested in Idaho. Did y'all catch that? Before they could act on their plans where they were going to riot at a local pride event that they were holding there in Idaho. So, you know, at the end of the day, it is Pride Month for anybody that may not be aware. It is Pride Month. And so, you know, here we see them all lined up. Look at them as they're in their little military looking garb, you know, and they were ready. They were ready to go. So at the end of the day, there you get a quick look at them. 31 of them belong to a racist group called Patriot Front, Patriot Front. And they are being charged with conspiracy to riot, which is not a misdemeanor. What y'all think about that? They're being charged with conspiracy to riot. Somebody tipped them off. That's the only reason why they didn't get away with it. Somebody tipped them off that they saw them. The police went and investigated, and lo and behold, here were these beautiful racists in their garb, ready to go. But since they didn't pull it off and it got foiled before they got the chance, this misdemeanor is all they're going to deal with: conspiracy to riot. And with that, what do you think about them apples? And I'll start with you, Jonna. What do you think about them apples?
Well, I'm not surprised. And I'm not surprised that they won't get anything more than a slap. Had it turned into a riot, would they get anything more than a slap? It just, you know, I don't, in this day and age, the fact that you could still be so hateful, not that it was ever okay, but, you know, it's sad. Because stop, you know, grow up, leave and let people
basically
live. Go on about your little no teeth, raggedy. Ooh, no, let me stop. Let me pull that back because I was really getting ready to go.
Don't pull the Mountain Dew teeth.
Don't get Tyrone with those teeth.
Go on with your own life and let people live. So that's all.
Wow.
Tyrone.
I mean, it's just crazy that people have the right to believe what you want to believe. But it's in situations like this when you feel that you need to now push your beliefs onto someone else, or feel that you have the right to tell someone that what they believe in is wrong. Like at this point in life, your life is so much easier when you learn to mind your business. These people aren't doing anything to bother you. You and your friends who probably are unemployed with nothing else to do all day and probably at home beating your wives are sitting around saying, there's a pride parade or a pride function going on, and we're gonna go out there and we're gonna say something. We're gonna make a movement. And it's like, for what? You could be cutting your grass and now you on your knees with your hands behind your back looking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, use your energy for something else, like getting Juneteenth as a holiday throughout the United States. You could use your time for that. You probably have a child at home that was looking for daddy to show up at the basketball game, but now you on your knees in the grass looking stupid because you wanted to stop a pride parade or function. I mean, let's use our time for something productive right now.
Yes.
Right now you look stupid.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I don't get it.
Yes. Royalty.
Right. I'm like Tyrone. You know what? You're entitled to your opinion, but when you allow your opinion to come and try to dictate my opinion or make me change my opinion about how I feel, there's a problem.
Yeah.
I respect that you have your opinion and you keep it, but I have one too, and so let's just let them be different. And then a misdemeanor, my God, the
Yeah.
misdemeanor is like punishable up to a year in jail, $2,500 bond, blah blah blah. Of course, they won't have any of that most likely
Mm-hmm.
because it's a misdemeanor. And so they will probably get a slap on the wrist and go and plan the next one. Try to figure out which one of y'all knocked, which one of y'all told it. But they're gonna go right on because it's not the end. It's not like they got caught and okay, we're not gonna do it again. No, they're gonna go right to the next one.
Yeah.
So now something needs to be done.
And Mino, I feel you. It's just sad that you all have to go through it. Sad that we have to go through it. I agree. And you know, we have nothing but mad respect here in the Lions Den for all of our LGBTQ friends, family members, and loved ones here. And my heart goes out to those that have to endure. And again, you want the police to run around talking about I feared for my life, but you have groups of marginalized people who are doing nothing, and they literally have to fear for their lives from these types of individuals. Because yes, they were armed. I saw you earlier, Mel. They were armed, and it just so happened that somebody was passing by and saw them looking like a small army, and they had rented a U-Haul, and they were getting ready to get in this U-Haul, and they called the popo and said that they saw them there, and the police said they had enough units available right there in the area that they were able to get to them quickly enough to apprehend them before they got away and committed their dastardly deeds. So, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, we could be reading another mass murder, you know, mass injury situation just because you had people that wanted to go to a pride rally and rally. And then you got these folks out here that walk away with the misdemeanor. I just feel like there's something wrong with that. I feel like there's something.
Yeah, I do too. If they actually had the weapons in their cars and all that, then that should be more than a misdemeanor. It should be changed to something different with that.
Especially with the climate we're living in today, where we're seeing mass shootings often. Like that should be more than a misdemeanor because you weren't coming out there to pass off pamphlets.
Right.
Exactly.
With weapons in your car. No.
Weapons in your car. You dressed like the military. You came out there to do something. You weren't out there to save souls.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, I wondered about they rented a U-Haul to transport the people. I mean, really? Like something about the U-Haul just took me out in that story.
This is trash. We're dealing with trash. I'm not gonna put a color to it, but we're dealing with trash.
They have got to stop sleeping with their cousins. They've got to stop having sex with their cousins. They got to stop having sex with their sisters and their cousins and their mamas. They have to stop.
You know, I just think it's ludicrous. It is absolutely ludicrous. Come on, Danny said they were white. That's why. So at the end of the day, as SK said, it's a terroristic threat. And he's addressing the fact of it being nothing more than a misdemeanor. Now, if y'all know if there had been some black folk out there dressed in military looking attire, and they were gathering weapons and all, like they were getting ready to go handle some business or whatever, they'd be under the jail. Now, I mean,
SWAT team and everybody would have been dispatched.
Right.
Shot dead in the street like dogs. And this
helicopters, everybody would have been out.
Everything. And you know, it's like, how much of this do we have to continue to see and watch? And there's no change, you know, for whatever reason, people that don't want to believe that there's two systems, two realities. It is. Come on, Mino said, or they would have been shot. Exactly. They would have been shot right there on the spot. What are you saying? Got to start branching out. Y'all know Stacey's my girl. Stacey is my
that typically is a sign of it.
Oh, it's sad, but there you have it. Now this one, I'm gonna get on the church people's toes just a little bit. And y'all might be mad at me for this one. But okay, y'all help me with this one. This is a matter of Anita Wilson, if you don't know who that is. Anita Wilson, if anybody knows that y'all love her song, Jesus Will. She basically came out and appreciated all of her family and friends and loved ones and wished them a happy Pride Month. To all my family, friends, and loved ones in the LGBTQ plus community. Thank you for each of you bringing so much love, laughter, light, and beauty into the fierce dopeness into my life and world. And I love you. Now, this is the issue. The church, the good old saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost church and others are upset because they're saying as a gospel artist, she is completely out of order to try to sanction a lifestyle that God is obviously against, and they want to silence her music ministry, or they feel like she needs to have a come to Jesus moment about her music ministry when she is obviously supporting something outside of the ministry that she's singing about. Wait a minute, the rebel said the church is dead.
Look, and have nothing moving in the bottom. Everything's dead. Ain't nothing moving.
So come on, SK said, "Brava, Anita, brava, show the love." So I'm not even going to so much ask about the reality or the reaction of Anita. I want to know what your reaction is about the church's response. So come on. Yes, Rebel said they are late.
And they are full of lies, because if it weren't for the LGBTQ community, we may not even know who Anita Wilson is. They need
who does that have?
We need to stop. It's not going to go away. It's not going to just sit in the back and be quiet. We need to stop. Tell the truth. Just tell the truth.
Tell the truth that they are one of them.
But the thing is, it's a sign of ignorance, because Pride Month, a lot of people associate it with same-sex loving people. Like Pride is an opportunity for people to, that's why there's so many alphabets, embrace who they are, for people who feel they're different than what society sees as the norm.
Yes.
And organizations like the church, they harp on that one piece of, it's supporting gay life or lesbian life or trans life. It's about supporting people who, per society norms, feel like they're slightly different or aren't accepted, which so many of us fall into those categories, whether it's our race, the sex, the gender we were born into, the people we choose to love. And most of the church, if not all of the church, falls into that. It's crazy we're still at this point with the church that is like, I mean, let's be real. Have your congregation, your choir, your ushers, everybody.
Get in the pulpit. You better get in the pulpit.
The pulpit, yeah. Don't forget the pulpit.
And of course, the pulpit. Then lay down with a man or woman or two.
In the church.
Several in the church,
in the office,
in the pastor's study. Now you ain't lying on that, because that ain't no lie. That's the truth. For anybody that's deceived on that point, I know personally of situations where they getting busy in the pastor's office on a regular, and I'm telling they getting it. So at the end of the day, y'all quit playing now. Come on. So I appreciate you pointing that out, Tyrone, because it is a matter of appreciation, like you said, for all of those alphabet, and the fact that the alphabet just keeps getting longer and longer because it's embracing as many as possible in these groups, and where people want to get in this trick bag and go, oh, I'm just so appalled, I'm so upset, this is so ungodly, and now we're condoning this, and this is how it's getting worse. No, this ain't how it's getting worse, because it's already in there. And as if the idea of acceptance is making it worse. And I will say this, several people were dealing with this idea at the end of the day, that because the church keeps demonizing it, people can't go ahead and just really be who they are. So that includes the preachers in the pulpit that's lying, the women in the pulpit that's lying, all the folks that lying from the choir stand to the door. We just keep demonizing it, and so at the end of the day, we just continue to traumatize people. So, Jonna, I'm gonna let all y'all talk because see, I got so much I could say, but I'm gonna shut up. I want to hear you all.
Well, for me, there's really nothing left to say. It's just time to stop. Just time to stop. Tell the truth. The church has other stuff to be worried about. And this, like I mentioned, it's not going away. There's not anything that anyone can do or say. So just take a deep breath and accept everybody like you accept your own self and all of your stuff and call it. Just live and let live.
What do you guys think it is that keeps us from moving past this point where I could almost see church folk, just like we just looked at those racists out there ready to go and jump into pride. I can see church folk doing some of that for real.
Oh,
like, what is it that keeps us, and particularly in the Black community, why are we so hung up here? I don't understand it. I can't wrap my brain around it. Do you feel like you have some insight? Because I just don't understand it.
I think it's ignorance and lack of information.
Well, I think it's because they for some reason they want to act like it's a big sin. There's big sins and little sins, and they can't let anything go because that's the big one that they need to deal with. And again, they're ignorant, but they want to hold on to that to make themselves feel good. But at the end of the day, it's time for the church to shut the fuck up and move on, because the church is dying. Rebel said it's dead, but the church is dying because of stuff like that. Shut the fuck up.
And Auntie Diddy had a good point. I want to go back up to it. She said the problem is the church can't and will not accept their own flaws. They don't want to deal with any areas that where they may have flaws. And in that regard, I'm just looking at flaws overall. I'm not necessarily even identifying. So, but.
Because if you ask a whole lot of little boys their first time, it was with somebody in the church.
Not only was it first time in the church with somebody in the church, it might have been with the preacher.
And that too.
And that's real talk. That's real talk. So I think that largely this topic in the Black church, it saddens me that we continue to have this kind of reaction and this kind of fight against pride, this kind of fight against LGBTQ plus community. And then even in this instance, this fight against their supposed own, because they're just mad at her because she reached out and gave an affirmation and loving statement to the LGBTQ plus community. They're mad just because she made a comment. I mean, now, come on now. You can't even, no ma'am, no sir. I mean, y'all doing too much. You just doing too much. What Anita Wilson wants to send out and stand for and affirm her LGBTQ plus friends and family, and do it boldly with no shame. And now y'all want to challenge her that she needs to go back and rethink her gospel singing. Are you in the wrong place? Are you qualified? Should you be here? You're not holding up the standard of the Lord. And come on now. That to me is way too much. That's just way too much.
Larry Reed also posted on his page about Bishop Kenneth Ulmer.
Mm-hmm.
He said there are 3 myths that church people believe. He said one of them is they believe a part of the LGBTQ community is the biggest sin. 2, people in the LGBTQ don't love the Lord. And 3, people with same-sex attraction must be straight to be accepted by Christ and the church.
Come on.
So he said those are the 3 myths that they have, and they still can't seem to get past.
Come on, Bishop Ulmer. I think more clergy are starting to speak out in regards to, and I think at the same time you have those clergy that are scared. I can remember, and this is come on, BTD mom, this is real talk. And Danny said something. I want to put that up again. That's the reason why churches are empty and the pride parades are flourishing, because Jesus loved everybody. Come on with that. I can tell you, and some of my members can remember when I was traveling to a certain town here in Kansas, but it was about 50, 60 miles out. And I was being invited to their conference on a regular. Then they found out that I was LGBTQ plus accepting. Now, they didn't come to me. They got to whispering amongst themselves. They got to whispering amongst themselves. And the word that got back to me was that they were no longer going to invite me to their conference because I was caught up in the devil's work with being accepting. And we make it very well known amongst the congregation and those that come that we are a welcoming community, and it's a safe zone and a safe spot. And you know, at the end of the day, it did not hurt my feelings that they didn't invite me back. Hey, Crazy Berrytown, so much love coming to you. Come on in here. And she is a streamer, y'all. If you're not following Crazy Berrytown, please, please, please follow her. But this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about, where they will cancel you based on the fact that you don't follow that pressure tactic that they try to utilize, that if you don't believe and teach the way that we teach by shunning everybody in the LGBTQ community, then we'll have nothing to do with you. And it's like, okay, do I look like I missed anything? I mean, you understand what I'm saying? But that is pressure that you get as those, and I'm looking at Anita, and what they're attempting to do here is to pressure her and to pressure and sway people's ideas and mentality and this and that and the other towards her. But you have to be strong enough not to fall to that, because I mean, the pressure's out there. I know, Mino, what happened to come as you are? What happened to come as you are? And that's the lie that the church keeps telling, when they really don't mean come as you are. They mean come the way we want you to come. So I think we need to deal with that for real.
I mean, I feel there's two institutions, and probably more, that people should be able to go as they are, and that's the church and school. And you should be able to go there. There's a purpose for you going there. You should be able to go there as you are, who you are, and receive what it is that you need to receive without being pressured into certain beliefs. And we see that in both organizations. The school is going to want you to learn a certain thing, and then the church is going to tell you you're wrong if you don't believe what the leadership believes in.
I hear you on that. And you know, let every man be persuaded in his own mind. I think it's ugly. I hate that it's the way that it is, but I believe it's happening. That's what I do want to say. I believe it's happening. Stacy 546, and my condolences and love are still going out to you, Stacy. Your ex of 18 years just passed away. Mother is religious and still won't recognize that she was gay. That only exists if you are like they are. I hear you. Come through with that. And my heart goes out to you. And I can definitely say, I've been a part of a few, I'll say a few, I don't want to exaggerate, several trans funerals where the parents absolutely would not acknowledge the individual being trans. They would not acknowledge the community, the friends, anybody in any way, shape, or form. It was just really ugly. And at the end of the day, I found myself just going and hugging and embracing and just accepting and showing love to those family members. And when I say family members, I'm not talking about the blood family, but within the community there, they have families and they have houses and groups that they have and gatherings. And her house came out to support her, and the family was so ugly to them. I mean, and these are supposed to be holy people now. These are holy people, but you're acting ugly towards the people that came to honor your child in their death. And it's really ugly. It's really sad. My hope and prayer is that this is going to change, that we'll give this more attention and conversation so that we can break this kind of mess down. Because I think that's what's going to have to happen. It's going to have some confrontation, and from people that are ready to show support to help break it down. And that's my opinion. I mean, what do you all think? Am I barking up the wrong tree?
No, I mean we're really starting to see change, especially in this topic. Especially to see generations change. You start to see um younger people coming into the to leadership, and even some of our elders who are starting to experience different experiences in life. Um, you're really starting to see that change of acceptance, and hopefully one day we get to a point where we don't need Pride Month and this, that, and the other, because people are just accepted for who they are, and you don't have to make a big thing about just being accepted. Hopefully we'll get there one day, but I do feel we're starting to see change, especially in the church. Because just as many people out there that badmouth people who support people who are different, who they believe to be different than them, there's still a huge amount of support from the church as well, where you're starting to see LGBTQ pastors who are leading big churches, and it's not this big hidden thing. So still have a long way to go, but we are
Yes.
starting to see some change.
Yes. Yes. Ladies, anything on your part that you want to say before we move on?
I agree with Tyrone. We're starting to see some change. I'd like to see it a little quicker. You know, I'd like to see a little more, a little quicker, because this old way is just not. It's just not. Let's just leave it right there. It's just not. I think church folks, from my experience, love to have a one up on. They love to set apart and then look down at any group. It's single mothers, the LGBTQ. If you're in sin, then they can look down and feel better about themselves, and that it's almost the same. Well, it is the same as racism. You're not any better than anybody else. That has the same roots, and we need to dig that up, and then everything, with a little patience will fall into place. But we need to be doing more a little quicker, because this is getting old and it's ridiculous, and the pews are emptying. Now they're emptying right on out. So at some point, decide, do you want to be right, or do you want to be in relationship with everybody? So
yeah,
that's my take on it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Rhonda, anything?
All right. Just piggyback on what she said. If they want all of the people that they say are LGBTQ to leave the church will be emptier.
There ain't be no choir.
Emptier.
It could be no choir.
No choir. Half the time you won't even have a preacher.
You won't have a preacher.
It's
gonna be
motherboard.
But as I said, they have a problem, and I put that in the chat a while ago. They have a problem because a lot of don't want to realize the truth, and they've been lied to for years and years and years. Because y'all know a lot of the stuff that we've been taught and preached was not true. And so we're going to have to release a lot of the stuff that we learned and learn the truth. But they got to be willing to do that.
Yes.
So they want to hold on to this old. That's what we've taught. You got to let it go and flush it.
Got to. I agree. Got to. That being said, I'm going to transition and segue into, because this is Pride Month. There's so many things and areas in life that really have been open to us because LGBTQ community exists that we don't acknowledge. I want to stop before I get into that in depth, though, and I want to deal with, have you all been watching Legendary?
It's trash to me.
You don't like Legendary. Okay, tell me why you feel like it's trash.
And nobody come for my neck. Just knowing like true ballroom performance, what goes into it, it's just not exciting. I mean, to see the girls get up there, raw talent, hit the middle of that floor, shwam, bam, get back up, flip, flop. It's Legendary doesn't give me that.
Okay, so
and then the whole judging and somebody has to win.
Yeah, I don't like the judging.
When you're in a ball and it's tens across the floor and you there, it's all about the family coming together. No one's really judging you with this wasn't this and this didn't tell me this. Is a 10 across the board or you chopped? And I know it's for TV, but it's not. It's for TV.
Okay, cool. So we got a couple questions on the floor, and I'm going to let you answer, Ty. What is Legendary, and where can they find it?
I believe it's on one of the
I think it's on BET. Is it BET?
HBO one up? Maybe like BT Plus or something.
I think it's BT Plus.
Okay.
I think it's BBC Plus. Listen, SK said Legendary is great for her, and she's beginning to learn a lot, and that's okay.
HBO.
Rebel got me straight. It's on HBO. It's on HBO. I'm saying this because I feel like, okay, now where you're saying it's trash, I'm pushing it as a tool for people to learn something about the LGBTQ plus community because they don't understand ballroom. They don't understand houses. They don't understand any of these dynamics. And I think it's a good coming in point. Now, I think what you're saying, if I hear you correctly, is that it may not be representing it in truth, just like Real Housewives or whatever. They've done reality TV, but yet and still they got some extra going on there for the entertainment factor that kind of pulls it away from the reality. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And I will say from that aspect, Legendary is amazing, because it does give you another side of like the ballroom scene, and it's more than just, the performance of it all. Like, these are houses they're families. Yes. And a lot of people, we all have what we would call like our gay family. That's the family that we created, and we have a mother and siblings. And so you get to see that whole side of it, that, life is so much more than just a walk down or dance down the runway. So from that aspect, it is a great learning opportunity on a major platform, which does open up the eyes to people who would not know what ballroom and the whole background of that is. Yes.
Shelly said, is it like RuPaul's, but for us, US?
No. So it is a competition. It's almost like a dancing competition show, but it's houses. So houses compete. It's set up very well. They have costuming, but they do performances, but it's with voguing. So it's the duck walk and the hands and all that kind of stuff. And there's a whole scene, and it's like different houses. And these are legit houses. These people aren't like created. These are legit houses that have major names, that have their major staples in the community and outside of the community. And they have themes, and each week they compete. And of course, in any competition, so someone comes to an end, they're critiqued they have a panel of judges. And in real ballroom, there's a competition, but the critiques aren't verbal. It's either you get a 10 or you're chopped.
Yes.
And you're going about your business. But I mean, it's a good show on that aspect of being able to just expose it, bring some more exposure to what voguing the ballroom scene is. Because a lot of people relate it to like Madonna, and that's not it. So in that aspect, it's a good show. But for me personally, knowing ballroom and the work, the sweat and tears that the girls put into it to just do what they do, I don't get that from Legendary. But what you do get from it is an amazing platform for that.
I absolutely love it, Tyrone. I will probably never miss another episode of Legendary. I mean, and you did what must be done. Law and his over the top. I mean, I'm just telling you.
He's too much for me.
Listen, he's the most. Law is the absolute most. And Mino said her friend is on there. So how about that? But this is what I love about it. I feel like it's a good place for people that do not understand the community, that do not understand the activities of the community, the families, the houses. Danny asked, is it ballroom dancing? It's not ballroom dancing. It is voguing. It's the hands. It's you have to get on duck walk, catwalk. You have to get on. This is what I want to say, and people don't realize this. A lot of what the LGBTQ plus has done in ballroom is what ends up bleeding over into mainstream, because they come in and get that and copycat it and then take it into mainstream. And this is an area not only in the moves, not only in their voguing, but also in the musical styles, the costumes, the makeup, all of that. so much of that is literally copycatted from the LGBTQ ballroom. And I think that mainstream America does not actually realize how much they're copycatting from LGBTQ plus. Because these people are.
If you think of like major things like runway walking, so in a real ball, it's called a ball, there's categories. So you have like Butch Queen up in pumps, or you have face, or you have runway, or you have sex siren, and there's all these categories. So things you look at, like you said, costuming and makeup, like there's a creative side to it. Just the model walk, those things come from old school ballroom scene. That has now bled over to, I mean, mainstream just picks it up. But
mainstream picks it up.
Yeah. It started
and
there.
We see it in mainstream. It's like, oh, they came up with that. But then when you go back and look at ballroom, you see that mainstream has actually stolen that from ballroom and just brought it over to mainstream. It's not new, it's just stolen. But I think the thing that to me is so unfortunate is that the LGBTQ community does not get credit for that. You know what I'm saying? It's like we'll come and steal. I feel like it's another form of raping, just like Black folks with the mainstream white community. You'll come over and you'll steal and you'll rob from us and bring it back to your platform and make millions off of it. But the actual creators get absolutely nothing. And you can tell those houses, they put their whole everything into that. You know, I mean, they put blood, sweat, and tears into that, only to be robbed from and then looked over as if y'all ain't nothing, when in actuality, if the truth be told, right down to the fashion, because I'm telling you, they are the edge of fashion for real. So when you see, oh man, Keke Palmer, is that I think that's my girl in there.
Yeah, she's on there this season.
Oh man, name some of the other mainstream. Demi was in there. What's my girl?
Tiffany on there.
Tiffany Haddish.
Megan Thee Stallion was on there.
They're coming in there getting stuff from them. They're coming in there clearly stealing and I don't want to say stealing, but they're stealing stuff from ballroom and taking it back to mainstream. And then we go ape over it. And the people that have actually created it, it's like we don't even know that they exist. I just feel like there's something bad. I feel like there's something wrong about that. I just feel like there's something that's just not right. Jonna, I know you may not, Rhonda, you may not have seen it. I'm telling everybody, if you want to understand the life of LGBTQ plus, at least from the standpoint of houses and families and how they're put together and the stories that they tell. Because I mean, when you hear some of those stories are so heart-wrenching about the reality that the family exists because many of the kids or adults were kicked out of their homes and away from their families. And the only way they left from living off the street was to come into a family and into a house. So do you want to share more from that perspective, Tyrone?
I mean, like I said, the whole house family aspect is a lot of times kids, when they, express who they are kicked out from their families, and shunned against and have nowhere to go. And houses are created because it gives people, and as a family that you get to pick and choose. So that's what makes it even more special. Like I wasn't born into this. I was able to pick who my mom is and the guidance. And a lot of us, and I would say even for myself, and I've been blessed and fortunate to never been shunned against any parent I've had. But I was able to have a gay family and still have it that supported me through college. When Pam didn't have the money, my family helped me out. So it's a lot of us form these families and these groups. A really good movie to watch if you haven't seen is Paris is Burning.
Yes.
Because that talks a lot about the ballroom scene, and you get to see like in real life how these families are created. Pose did a really good job of talking about how the family comes together, and they might got to get out there and steal a dress or two, but they're going to be everything they need to be at the ball.
Yes.
But shows like that and movies like that really help to give the outside world an understanding of these people are not only struggling with, the world that's against them. A lot of times they're just struggling just to make it. And it's these families and these houses that are created that really help a lot of us just make it to the next day. So it's, I mean, Legendary on that aspect is amazing. But like I said, if you can watch Paris is Burning, that's really good as well. Another one of those movies that's amazing. They talk about the life, but none of the people in it benefited from it. Of course, it was created by a white director, and that was that. But it tells really good stories about people, especially in New York, where Ballroom was created. So you get to get that information,
Yes.
that
Yes.
history, and
Yes.
how, you know, they just made that thing work. Because like I said, a lot of people credit Vogue to Madonna, and that's not it at all.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
those are, I mean, those are good places to really just get an understanding of another side of another group of people.
It's awesome. It is, and I love it. I love it. Everybody that I've encountered, I've turned them on and say, "Hey, go watch Legendary." It's an awesome show. I think that there's so much learning that can be done. Paris is Burning, absolutely. What's the one about the? Oh shoot! They're doing pole dancing at a strip club. Now this is like a movie in episodes, or oh man, it's a good one. Oh shoot, I can't think of it. But anyway, Miss Lottie Dottie, I see you fairly all day. I see you in here. So much love to you. These are my friends. I love you guys so much. My dearest, my dearest. I'm so happy to see you. It was good to see you this morning in with Dr. Dady Priest. P Valley. Mino knew exactly where I was going. P Valley. I encourage people, you know, because I think you've been lurking, trying to rest, but this pulled you out of lurk. You agree with Tyrone and his suggestions. You don't think it's trash, but you think it can be better. I got you, Fairly. I got you. I'm really encouraging it from the standpoint of if you're not aware and you don't know. Thank you, Miss Lottie Dottie P Valley. If you're not aware and you don't know, and I say this, if you really want to know more about anyone and have a better understanding, immerse yourself and learn, find opportunities to expose yourself and to have knowledge. Because I'm like this, if you really don't want to know, if you really want to know me, you're going to spend some time to get to know me. If you really, really want to know me. And I know I'm going to say this to even bust down the religious wall even a little bit farther. We say, oh, you know, I embrace LGBTQ plus. Okay, but what do you do to actually know and engage and participate and have a better understanding of LGBTQ plus? Otherwise, you're just giving me lip service. You understand what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're just giving me some lip service. Because if for my friends that say, "Oh, I like," you know, and I love this, and I'm being facetious for sure. I just love the Black community. Regina's one of my best friends. It just takes me over the edge. Shut up talking to me. Don't even do that to me. You know, it just makes me so angry because at the end of the day, you are doing absolutely nothing to know more about the Black community. As a matter of fact, when I bring you Black knowledge, you get mad. So you're really showing me this is lip service that you're giving me, and I don't want lip service. If you really want to know and you really want to, interaction is key. I see you, LSK8843. Interaction is key. Thank you for following Mahalava Best. Okay, y'all help me with that. Y'all help me pronounce that. Uncle Clifford at the peak. Come on. I want us to understand that there has to be some level of interaction and understanding that comes into play. So this is where I want to go with this. So Jonna, Rhonda, I don't know how, first and foremost, what's your idea? And I know you haven't seen Legendary, but the idea that the LGBTQ plus community is being robbed of their creative genius and it's being pushed out into the mainstream as if it's someone else's creation, and the LGBTQ plus community basically walks away empty-handed. I mean, what's your reaction to that?
Well, it's certainly true. Same as with the Black community. A lot of our creative expressions go mainstream and we never get any credit for it. I don't know anything. I don't know too much, I should say, about the ballroom aspect of it, but I do know makeup. And so almost all of the makeup trends that are heavy now come from drag.
Baby,
almost all of it comes from drag.
I don't think nobody can do makeup like Baby. Y'all just quit. Just quit. Can't nobody do makeup like LGBTQ plus. I'm just trying to now. I said what I said. Can't nobody do makeup like LGBTQ plus. That's all I'm trying to say. Because baby, when they come out there, I mean, those faces are beat. That creativity that they have, I mean, they figure out how to. I'm just looking at some of them. I'm like, that's ingenious. And then if you understand face is the one that comes out that is known for the face. You know, so when face comes down, make you slap somebody. I mean, I'm telling you, you ain't.
And a lot of these people taught themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't seen no beat face till you see face. And I'm telling you, it's just like, oh my God, this is absolutely unbelievable. And I mean, how they're able to do the contour, the contour, the shading, it's absolutely positively amazing. I mean, I'm breathless. So now, if you're saying that man, somebody asked the question. Let me go back. And Fairly All Day, what's your opinion of Pose compared to Legendary? Fairly All Day wants to ask you, Tyrone, because I mean, at the end of the day, I'm like, you say it's trash, but honey, I'm sitting here looking at my mouth is hanging open, and that 360 death drop, bam.
So that's called a shawam.
Oh, a shawam. Thank you.
And it scares me because your body shouldn't fall like that, and you get back up. But that's the dancer in me. But they're both really good shows, and they give representation to the community on a major platform, which gives information to people who wouldn't know or wouldn't even care to know. I like Pose because it told a story of like the background of it. It told like the raw ballroom scene of, you know, these girls doing what they got to do to make it. Pose is amazing. It shows more of a, you know, a grander side of it. It gives more of a glimmer and shimmery side of the ballroom scene, and we appreciate that. But ballroom it's gutter. Now, when they get on that floor and they do what they do, it's amazing. And Pose gives that side of the people struggling, their lives. You know, most of them, a lot of them found out they had AIDS right before they had to go on the floor. I mean, and they still had to do it because that's how they ate. You know, everybody left with a trophy. You know, it was a huge part of the community that started in New York. And of course, it stopped as times went on, but people still do balls. I've been to a ball in a church one time. I wasn't at the ball, but it was hosted at a church, and balls are really late at night, so they go to like 4 a.m, but they hadn't properly cleaned up. So there was still like flyers on the floor when the church opened. Because balls happen really late at night. It's like midnight to 4 a.m. type deal. Because it was always like this underground type thing. But Pose tells like a whole story, and Legendary, amazing, just gives like the glimmery side of Pose. You know, okay. I'm not like that behind the scene. I struggled to get here. I almost didn't make it. Yeah.
I get that.
All my life.
Right. Bishop Yvette Flunder sponsors a ballroom, and if anybody knows her, I have so much mad respect for her. But she sponsors a ballroom, and again, I just have so much. She's in California. What part of California? Do you remember, Rhonda?
I can't remember, but I like her.
Yeah, I love her, and so. There are a lot of ministries that are starting to understand that we cannot excommunicate people out of our communities as if they don't exist, and they are spiritual, and they do bring so much to the table. What do you think about the idea BTD Mom said? Do you think there should be reparations to ballroom for all that they've contributed to the world and had taken out and amongst from them, but without the necessary credit? Reparations?
Here we go.
That. I mean, that would be a tough one. I mean, because one thing you also have to understand, ballroom is very heavily LGBTQ based, but there were other people a part of that. I mean, ballroom started. I mean, everybody who walked the ball wasn't gay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it was a collective thing, heavily inspired and created by LGBT, but not everyone who was a part of it, was same-sex loving. They were just very supportive and allies. So I mean, that would be a hard one to me. But if someone wants to sit down and break that thing down, I'm here for it.
Okay. Okay.
Now that we want to go back to like Paris is Burning, and we find all the people who are part of that and their families that are still existing, and make sure they are compensated for their time, energy, and effort that they put into that amazing movie, I would be all for that.
Okay. Okay. In all that you've heard today, Rhonda, what's your takeaway here?
It made me think about the black people. It made me think about how genius black people are with their music. Nobody can do music like black people.
Mm-hmm.
They can try, they can do it. Nobody can do black music like black people. And then I think about all the inventions that the black people had that they did not get their name for, the credit for.
Mm-hmm.
And so this just brings all that to memory. The same thing. They're doing all this and they're not getting credit for it as well. So that's what I'm thinking. And I was like, John, I'm not going to go back and repeat what she said, but that makeup.
Yes, baby.
The beauty and the beatness of the makeup, and if everybody could just realize their talent and let people work in their area, their lane.
Yes.
There's enough to go around for everybody that we don't have to steal.
Yes.
But look how many black people wrote music and never got credit for it. Or a lot of the movies we watched where black people wrote music and they wanted to put white people on the cover. That's what it brought back to my mind tonight.
Yes.
About it. And so it's still happening. It's just with a different group now.
Yes. And I to add to that, I feel like even more so, I want the black community to wake up to it, especially because we're still experiencing it. By all means, I feel like our hearts should really be extended and outreach, be outstretched to the LGBTQ plus community, because our journeys are so similar, and it's us, and not just it's us as blacks, but it's also us as just humanity. This mirrored image that we see, and me as a black person knowing the struggle of the black people in this country, I can't then turn around and see another group, another subgroup that's going through the same identical things and not feel like something in me has to also help them to be delivered from that same oppression too. I can't have been oppressed and I'm crying out for my freedom from oppression without looking at some other group that's being oppressed just like I was, and not feel like I need to reach out and help my oppressed brothers and sisters. And this is all the more reason why it really upsets me that black churches and black religious folk, while we're still yet being oppressed, would then turn around and be an oppressor to the LGBTQ plus community. I just think it's offensive. I can't comprehend it. I can't wrap my head around it. And John, I see you nodding your head. Girl, I mean, I just explain it to me, Lucy. Explain it. I just feel like even more so, we should be the ones on the forefront saying, okay, this has got to change.
That reminds me, you remember a few years back when Chick-fil-A was huge about they weren't going to serve the LGBTQ community, or they opposed same-sex marriage, I think it was. And black folks were, if they don't want to serve them, they don't have to. And I'm like, how in the world can you say that?
Yeah.
When your black ass couldn't walk through that front door not too long ago. Right. You couldn't walk through the front door.
Right.
So how can you not take that same hurt and be compassionate to another group? That's where they lose me at with that. I can't fathom how you can be so calloused and so, funky acting when just a few minutes ago it was you.
Yeah.
Do you not remember? Surely you do. Surely you do. How can you be so disapproving, if you will, of another group when somebody was just doing you the same way?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard pill for me to swallow, and I agree. SK said the community is powerful, accepting, loving, and resilient. She has mad respect, and I do too. I really do. And if you can't respect people for what they present and who they are and what they bring to you, you need to check yourself. You need to check yourself. I'm like Danny. Now I'm gonna tell y'all. He said I don't give them my money, and that's going to Chick-fil-A. I'm gonna tell you, I have to pray for Jesus to keep me away from Chick-fil-A because that sandwich is delicious. I ain't lying. And
that
those
mac and cheese is everything.
I never had the mac and cheese yet.
Oh, that mac and cheese
I never
make you
had the mac
slightly
and cheese.
think somebody cooked it at home. Slightly.
Right.
I don't
But
know
it's
who
good. It's good.
That food is good. That
And
their
my
menu.
nephew works there, and I haven't even tried it.
You say your man. Let me find out. I've been going that long.
Oh, you know that's not what I said. You know that's not what I said.
But it would be okay if that's what you said. That would be your business.
Come on, D Treasure, we're so glad to have you. She said, just remember, hurt people. I get that. And that is truly the truth, without a doubt. Welcome here tonight. And we're so glad to have you with us, D Treasure. We're so glad to have you. She said what she said, Mel Holiday said. Now, that being said, so while we talk about giving credit to who credit is due, and this is Pride Month, I'm going to throw this up here, and I'm going to ask anybody in the chat, any of the my friends, who can tell me who the man to the far right is. Mel said his name is Tom.
Oh, Jesus. Mel. Yeah, I have to get up here so I can see.
Okay, it's not big enough for y'all to see. Shoot. Let me see if I can find another picture of it.
What's the right to you?
Okay, so
where your arrow is? Oh, that
do
guy.
you
Okay.
see? Okay, I'm gonna put the arrow. You can't see the arrow. So my arrow's on his shoulder. My arrow's on his arm.
Okay.
Who is that?
He was Rustin Central. Rustin.
Aretha Franklin's daddy.
It's not C.L. Franklin. It's not. Oh wait. Y'all reading the blurb.
Yeah.
Does anybody know who that is? It's not Bobby Brown.
It's got who? Aaron Henry or Bayard Rustin? Which one is that? Aaron Henry?
It's not Aaron Henry.
Then it's Bayard Rustin.
Bayard Rustin.
Does she read the bottom?
Now, that is Bayard Rustin. Who knows what Bayard Rustin's feat was? What did
9?
he do?
Oh.
Danny Dean said it's Harpo. SK8843 got it. It's Bayard Rustin. Who knows what Bayard Rustin is known for, what he did? And I promise you're going to know what it is. No, it's not one of the Temptations. Mel said, is it one of the members of the Temptations? It's not a Temptation.
He did something with gay rights, too.
He did something with gay rights, but he's known for something. He said that's Oprah's boyfriend's dad. No.
Did he sleep with Jesse Jackson?
Huh?
Did he sleep with Jesse Jackson?
No, I can't testify to that. I can only testify to SK said a civil rights attorney, strategist, civil rights. He is. Now, this is one of the reasons why I want to bring this up. So at the end of the day, I'm looking and, for most people that do not know, we know the March on Washington, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Okay. The March on Washington is the result of Bayard Rustin.
Okay.
Not Mahalia Jackson?
Mahalia sang and Mahalia funded, and Mahalia definitely pushed Martin Luther King. But at the end of the day, the organizer, the strategist, and even as was said, even though Martin Luther King was a great orator and he was known for his preaching and speaking style, he was not an organizer and a strategist. Bayard Rustin really was the person behind, he was the strategy and the organization of civil rights. So when they brought him in, and just for a little bit of history, anybody who wants to say who brought Bayard Rustin into the mix, does anybody know who brought him into the mix and introduced him to Martin Luther King? Anybody?
Is it Randolph and Rustin did it?
You reading? Yeah, I thought y'all couldn't see that.
I can't see it. I'm like, do I need to go to the eye doctor?
I said y'all couldn't see that. See how? Let me stop sharing. Let me stop. Rhonda, you done told me you couldn't read it.
I couldn't. I was like this.
Okay, so this is why I wanted to come here, even while we're talking about ballroom and talking about all that. Listen, Rebel said Rhonda's eyeballs.
I told you, that's why I read it like
You thought he was just one of the homies trying to get a photo op with King Shelley? No. It wasn't. That's not true. Listen, you have to have that organizer. You understand what I'm saying? So this is why I wanted to bring this out. But he was openly gay. He was an openly gay man that at the end of the day, right, Fairly All Day, she cheating off the teacher's papers. That's what she was doing. She was cheating off the teacher's papers.
Well, the teacher put it in my face.
So Bayard Rustin, remember that name. Remember that name. So when we think about all of these tremendous things that happened in civil rights, especially and foremost, he was really the organizer for the March on Washington and many things that happened after that. And he was introduced to Martin Luther King by A. Philip Randolph. So here we found him as a tremendous talent. But he had to be completely hidden and almost obscured. And if you will, just the fact that nobody knew his face, nobody knew his name, nobody knew anything about how critically important he was to the movement, how important he was to organizing the movement, how important, especially the March on Washington. All of that greatness that we saw happen at the March on Washington is at the direct hands of Bayard Rustin. But because he was gay, he had to be hidden from the scene. And I'll say, even in hiding him from the scene, the fact that you all did not know his face, did not know his name, didn't know anything else about him, is the man has almost been all but forgotten.
Yeah.
So now hearing that, what does that make you feel about LGBTQ and their contribution? Because Black people, these same black folks that will go ham, go ape, go crazy about LGBTQ, these same people that go crazy about all of that, this man right here. Okay, let me give you another. This shot may be a little better. It's not the best, but it'll give you a little better of his actual face. This man right here, who was openly gay, that really busted civil rights wide open for Black people, has been completely obscured and forgotten from our memories because he was openly gay and they would not give him one iota. But this is the thing I will say about Bayard Rustin. If you do your study on him, he still, even though he knew the public would not embrace him, he still worked untiringly to the death for civil rights for black people, even though black people then turn around and want to be nasty and ugly towards LGBTQ. And this man almost single-handedly, with the team and the strategy that he put together, freed us from the oppression that we were under. So with that, I just want y'all to say something. Talk to me.
I mean, well, one, it was enlightening because I didn't know that. When we do talk about the March on Washington, it's often Martin Luther King, and then later in life, the whole Mahalia piece. But it's really sad, and we see this in so many parts of life that, you know, a title impacts a person's presence in a situation. Like, wouldn't it be amazing to live in a world where the person I love does not dictate who I am and my acceptance in this world? You know, he was an organizer. He was a civil rights leader. Him being gay should be no part of that. And that was the thing that trumped everything else he contributed to our history because of who he loved. And that's the crazy part. I mean, we saw that in the movie with the three ladies in NASA. Can't think of it right now. You know, they're smart, intelligent women who were able to come to the table and do something that nobody else could do.
Yes, hidden figures.
Why did being black have to be the thing that trumped everything, and they had to be pushed to the side? Like, when can we live in a world where I'm just a person? Who I love, who I lay down with, should not dictate my presence and my contribution to this world. And that's sad. Because you see, I mean, we see it in everything.
Yes.
That's the sad part. I'm a good makeup artist. That's my gay makeup artist.
Mm-hmm.
That's a makeup artist.
Yes.
That's the Boy Scout leader, that's the gay Boy Scout leader. This is what I do. And when we start putting labels, it's crazy the way this world is set up. We will label somebody, and that will be their title. Not, I'm a scientist, I'm gay.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Jonna?
I agree with Tyrone. It's amazing on what we almost missed out on. Had he not went ahead and did the right thing, and went anyway, despite having to be, you know, slighted, right? What would we have missed out on? And then how brave must he have been to be openly gay during that time as a black man? Oh my gosh. You know, that's really something. And like Tyrone said, with hidden figures.
There you go.
Why? Why must we sit people down? For what? For what purpose? You know? And we're still doing it. We're still doing that. We are still doing that, and we gotta quit it.
I agree. And I'm gonna keep saying this point. It amazes me that the same people that want to holler and scream about LGBTQ plus in the black community and be nasty and evil and ugly, half of them unwittingly don't realize that this gay man, had he not organized and strategized so that we were successful in our struggle and in coming to champion civil rights, that gay man gave you the liberties that you're enjoying right now, but you want to be nasty, ugly, and petty about LGBTQ when LGBTQ, with the assistance of others, but it was that man's strategy, brain, and organizing that put that joker together. Had Bayard Rustin not been in motion and in place, we would still be sitting in the same place of darkness that black people were living. But you want to turn around and bump your gums and be nasty against LGBTQ. I just think it's ironic, but it's so ugly. It's so ugly to me. And it's because of people's ignorance. They don't know. And this gay man that y'all want to be so nasty about the community is really so much responsible for the liberties that you're enjoying right now as black people. And I just want people to know that.
Yeah.
Well, and at the same time, we're understanding that he embraced himself. He knew who he was, and he wasn't afraid to do it. And that's what we're going to have to instill in people now. Even though people want to label you,
Mm-hmm.
You need to understand who you are, what you are about, and you go forth anyway. Because we can't let labels and stuff stop us. Because if that's the case, he would have stopped. But he did
Yes.
not. He went on and he was openly gay.
Openly gay.
And he kept moving. So now we
Yes.
have got, I don't care what they label me. They might call me this. I don't care. I'm going to keep it moving. And I'm going to keep reaching for the mark that I'm supposed to do, for the calling that I've got to do. We got to keep it going. And see that they're trying to deter people by some of the stuff they're doing. Talk about them, say this about them, but don't let anything deter you. You got to push on. And apparently he did it back then.
Back then.
I'm sure it was harder then than it is now.
Exactly.
Being gay and openly gay back then. But that man persecuted. He pushed through and did great things.
Yes. Yes. And Fairly All Day, thank you for that. She's sharing the documentary, a very good documentary about him on PBS for anybody that wants to watch it. Brother Outsider, go check it out because listen, I'm telling you, and there's some other documentaries and footages out there about him as well. But I want you to educate yourselves about this brother because the man was a genius. The man was an absolute genius. Now, my understanding as well to add to that is that Martin Luther King, at the time that Bayard Rustin encountered him, was still a gun packing brother. And it was Bayard Rustin because Bayard Rustin was one of the ones that also was a matter of studying outside of the country, other means of pursuing change, nonviolence, so on and so forth. And so he is the one that really influenced Martin Luther King to take the pacifism as far as the nonviolence to the whole next level. No weapons, no guns, no violence whatsoever. He's largely attributed with bringing that influence to Martin Luther King as well. Even though we want to talk about, now y'all hear, he studied Gandhi, he studied this, he studied that, but y'all don't hear him talking about, and he was influenced by Bayard Rustin. So these are pieces of tremendous impact that this man has had on the world. And again, I'm going to contend that the reason why he has not and did not and does not get the accolades that he should is because he was an openly gay man and they needed to hide that. So, at the end of the day, I just want us to be clear when we talk about June and Pride and Pride Month, and there's so many things that we can address and talk about. He studied Gandhi, which he shared with Martin Luther King. Thank you for that, MLK.
Is he still alive?
No, he passed away, I think, in 87. Let me see, when did he die? But no, he's deceased. He's deceased.
He died in 87.
Okay. Thank you for that.
He was born in 1912.
And he was 75 when he passed.
He was a long time.
But I just want to really impress and stress how much he changed this world. This man changed this world. This LGBTQ openly gay man changed this world and has almost been completely erased and eradicated from our history because, so at the end of the day, come on and sit down. Fairly, you've been running for Jesus a long time. I haven't got tired yet, but you tired. Sit down, baby. Go ahead and sit down. You and Dr. Dady been doing your thing. Just love people for who they are and let's interact with each other. Stop measuring people by their sexual preferences. We don't stop going to these churches that are being populated by the preacher and the deacons who come now see mother said a whole word because listen, they producing babies out here and y'all still going to their church. That's all I can say about that. Y'all better ask somebody. I love you, Fairly. I love you so much. That's my dearest friend. Go forth. I love you. So with that, I'm gonna get ready to close us out. But I wanted to share and make tonight something of impact. I don't want to just slide and glide past Pride Month. I wanted to do something that would bring us into a little deeper knowledge and understanding. So I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna let my friends close us out, but please check out Legendary if you don't mind, if you want to know and understand more, and then go out and check out Pose. Where is Pose? Where can they find Pose? Tyrone?
Pose, I believe, was on HBO too.
HBO. Okay, so go to HBO, look at Legendary, look at Pose, P Valley. Now, y'all, how do you feel about P Valley? I didn't ask you that, Tyrone. How do you feel about P Valley?
I mean, P Valley just has a gay character, and we appreciate him.
Okay.
But it's not. I mean, it's a gay man who runs a strip club. But there's a whole story. It's not surrounded. Entertaining show.
It's a whole story.
It's just a show with a gay lead character.
Got you. Well, I did watch the whole thing, but I enjoyed it. I liked him. I like the idea of a gay lead. Maybe that's where I'm going with that.
Like I said, it's an entertaining show, and like I said, it's a gay lead, and there's so many different facets to him, so you get to see that. So it's a really good show.
Okay.
And his hair slays all day,
always slays.
every day.
Well, Fairly said Pose only ran 2 seasons. I want y'all to go out there and check those 2 seasons because I want you to.
They fought for that second one, but that second season will tear you up. One of the last episodes, because it's a sad season.
Are you gonna give us a spoiler alert?
But I'm just saying that's this Whitney number, and it takes you out. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay, because I haven't seen it yet. I want to go watch it. Okay.
It's good though.
Okay, because I want to please acquaint yourselves. Don't just say I'm open to and da 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 da. Acquaint yourselves, interact, deal with your own biases, because some of us still have biases. Some of us still have verbiage and things that we say and stuff that we talk about and jokes that we make that we really need to stop. And I'm gonna say it again, as I said earlier, for Black people having come from being the oppressed and looking at another group that is also being oppressed the very same way that we were oppressed, please quit it. Please quit it. And please think about your ways. Think about your wicked ways. Please think about your wicked ways and change them, would you please? Get an opportunity to know better so you can do better and be better. Because at the end of the day, these gems and jewels are a part of us. And I want to see us stop tearing down our people. Just stop doing it. And get an understanding. In all you're getting, get an understanding. And that's what I want to say tonight. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to my friends.
Well, I will say...
Okay,
go
ahead, Tyrone.
Oh. Well, I'll say this is a good conversation, especially with it being Pride Month. And the biggest thing I like people to know is that Pride is not only about gay people or same-sex loving people. It's about people just embracing who they are. And when people feel they're different than what society calls the norm, they fall into that group of LGBTQ plus, because the letters keep going, because people have the right to identify with who they feel they are. No one knows the cost of the oil in your alabaster box. Okay. Thank you. But like I said, really good conversation. I'm a big supporter of, you don't have to agree with everyone's lifestyle. You don't have to agree with what everyone does. My biggest thing is that you respect people and respect them for who they are and where they are. When we get into a situation where we're trying to make someone change who they are, that's when you've come to that octagon, that red sign, and you just need to stop. Accept people for who they are, respect them for who they are. If you don't agree, go on about your life. It's not impacting you. I think one thing the Black community struggles with, and I think personally when we talk about, Black people going through a struggle and then there's a group of people that they look down upon. I know I've been told, Black people, they didn't choose to be put into slavery, but a lot of people still have that mindset that people who do identify with LGBTQ choose to live this lifestyle that they do. So to some people, they say you decided to live this life that's not acceptable. And then that in turn, people will then look down on them. But at the end of the day, just love each other. You will spend less energy minding your business, respecting people, and going on about your day. Unless it impacts you, unless it's causing you harm, unless it's taking money out your pocket, mind your business, go on about your day. Who someone else sleeps with, that's on them. Now, if they crawl in your bed, that's a different story. But do your thing, live life, live with less stress, and mind your business.
Come through.
Yeah.
Thank you. We received that.
So it's going to be the same for me. I agree with everything Tyrone said. We're going to have to let that ego go and be accepting, because it simply takes too much energy to decide that you're not going to like somebody, to do all that yapping about it, to get dressed and be armed and go to a parade or a demonstration that had nothing to do with you. It's sick. It makes you sick, like physically. Let it go. Let it go. It's easier to love on folks and mind your business. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do, but you can mind your business and live your life and let others do the same. So much easier to love folks than to be nasty.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Rhonda, Royal Confessions.
Yeah, 2 words, because I gotta go to the grocery store. 2 words.
Tom need batteries.
I agree with all of them that they said. 2 words: love and respect.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Love, respect, and mind your business. And I'm out.
And you're out. DJ James Dark Knight, thank you for coming through tonight. We appreciate you for coming in. MCP 812, I see you, dear. Thank you for coming in. And she said, well said, Tyrone. Well said. I appreciate everybody that has been in this chat on this evening. Again, this is another night, another beautiful time, another beautiful conversation. I appreciate my friends, Jonna, Tyrone, and Royal Confessions. And of course, the engineer who you cannot see, the Rebel Inc. She's in here, y'all. She's in here. Now, go ahead and copy the raid message because we are going somewhere. Look at those videos. Look at those shows that we've... Oh, wait a minute. And I do want to come here because Shelly, before I go, Shelly dropped some nuggets. I want to put those up. She said, while we're dropping gems, Hollywood on Netflix, Love, Simon on Hulu, and Schitt's Creek on Netflix are also good ones to get oriented. So let's look. Hollywood on Netflix.
Hollywood is really good.
Okay, Hollywood on Netflix, Love, Simon on Hulu, and Schitt's Creek on Netflix. Those are good gems to start with. So listen, we're getting educated up in this piece. We don't just talk. This Pride Alliance, this Pride, Pride, this Pride Alliance is relentless, and you're going to hear us roar. Now, copy that raid message because we're going somewhere, and we're going to share some love someplace else out here in these Twitch streets. I'm so glad that you came to... I'm so glad we had this time together. Rhonda, why did you look like that? I know y'all not laughing at my singing. I know y'all not laughing.
You went from that to that.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah. That head of hers. How many people live in there?
We've had a beautiful time together. We want you to have peace for your journey. Copy that raid message and we'll see you next. Oh, no. We won't see you next Sunday because it's Father's Day. Enjoy your fathers, enjoy your men, enjoy your brothers, but spend time loving on your family next week. We'll see you the week after next. And as we always say, peace for your journey.
Hey, Ariel.